So today I have in a watch from the Montreal-based brand Heron Watches. They're expanding on their Mariner line and have just released two watches, the Marinor Ghost with sterile dial and bezel. They're taking some inspiration from some of the 20th century military watches that also had the anonymous dials and sterile bezels. Big thanks to Heron Watches for lending this in for a few day test drive. Really appreciate it. But let's get to it and check out the watch. All right, now these are available in two color options, each limited to 50 pieces. This one particularly has an interesting dial color. This is the North Blue model. There's also a Sea Storm Black with old radium lume. If you're familiar with the original Mariner, which I've done a video on a few months back, it's the same form factor with quite a different vibe, though. Different vibe, but thankfully the very same strong spec sheet as the original that ticks all those diver boxes we want to see in a watch like this. So the dial itself is without any text at all, which quite a few military watches had. One reason being they were quicker to produce. The dial is a gradient dial, kind of a greenish blue that gets darker towards the edges. One difference between this and the original Mariner is the indices are painted on versus the applied markers of the original. They still use that North Star shaped marker at the 12, and the lume is painted on quite thick to the point it actually casts a bit of a shadow in the right lighting. We've got a nice looking handset with the folded arrow shaped hour hand, sword style minute, and the lollipop second hand. Super easy to read with such a clean dial, and this thing really shines in low light. Literally, the loom is BGW9 and it's top notch. Not sure how many layers of loom they've piled on here, but no complaints at all when it comes to the low light legibility. The bezel has only the loomed pip at the 12. I like an all steel bezel, and this looks nice and tidy against this dial. Easy to grip coin edge, good feeling action. Nice sound too. So happy with the bezel overall. The case is fully brushed other than a little strip of polish work along the edge of the lugs. The case and bracelet is hardened to 1200 Vickers. When I had in the original, they asked me to try to scratch it, and I tried it on one of the links with a fair amount of force and it wouldn't scratch at all. So it should keep this looking good as new for a long time. The screw down case back is fairly plain, similar to what you might see on a military issued watch. And under the hood is the 24 Joule Miyota 9039 movement, beating at 28,800 vibrations per hour with a power reserve of approximately 42 hours. The signed screw down crown, even with the crown guards there, is easy to get a hold of. Winding action is okay. Teeny bit of grit to it, but not bad, and threads back in smoothly. The bracelet is one of my favorite parts of the watch. It's a flat link bracelet, screwed links for sizing. It also has quick release and tapers down to 16 millimeters at the clasp. The clasp is signed with the company logo, the heron there, and it also has an on-the-fly adjustment system. Very easy to use with the push of a button. It's overall a very fluid bracelet with the shorter links and wears great on wrist. Size on the watch comes in at a case width of spot on 40 millimeters. The lug to lug is 46.3 millimeters. Lug opening is 20 millimeters and the thickness is 12.9 millimeters, including the box sapphire crystal, which is treated with an anti-reflective coating on the underside. Water resistance is 300 meters. And here it is on my 7.25-inch wrist, and it wears great. Perfect size that's going to suit a lot of different wrist sizes. Looks good, and they really covered the bases plus on the spec sheet. I especially like the fact that it has that hardness treatment. Cost for these is 590 USD. And again, both this and the block are limited to 50 pieces. Link to where you can find them will be in the description below. If you want to look at the original Mariner, I'll link that video down there too. Appreciate you taking a few minutes to stop by, and we'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.